Hello, my name is Summer Barnes, and today I'm going to help you pack your skateboard kit. There's a couple of prep work items that we need to take care of before we get started. One is prepping your mannequin head. I just took her and sprayed her down and put her into a little ponytail. That way when we get to the haircut, we're not going to have to spray as much water and cause a mess. And then also just putting it up in a ponytail is going to keep it up out of the way, so it'll be easy for you to drape during those first segments that we're going to be using her. Also, I went ahead and used some painter's tape to paint, or to kind of tape over her eyeball to simulate that her eye looks closed. Kind of looks like she has some 70s blue eyeshadow. And then I also took a eyelash strip and then cut it down to size where it would fit her eye and glued that on to simulate her natural lash. And that's how she'll need to be taken to the skateboard exam. Another thing we need to do is prep your finger. I went ahead and took some alcohol spray and a cotton wipe and wiped off the surface first just to make sure there wasn't any kind of oil that might prevent your nail from sticking. And then I just took some glue and used some pressure to hold it down to make sure it was on there good. And then I used my toenail clippers that came in your guys' kit and trimmed it and filed it down to simulate a natural nail. So those things need to be done before you go to the test. So next, I just took the skateboard kit and I'm at my kitchen table. It's quite large, so I can lay everything out and you can see it easily. And then you want to find your packing list that tells you what, each item that goes into the bag, as well as your labels. So first thing that we're going to do is find your Ziploc bags. You'll have two 2.5 gallon bags and 7 gallon bags. The two 2.5 gallon bags, one is going to be your pre-exam bag and the other one is going to be your blow dry and thermal curling service bag. So we're going to find those labels and we're going to place them here at the top. So when we pack them in our suitcase, we'll be able to find them easily and we don't have to pull them all the way out to find out which one they are. So go ahead and find your pre-exam label. It's going to be the very first one on the left side. And we're going to go ahead and label the pre-exam bag. I'm just going to do mine all in the left-hand corner here at the top, right above this Ziploc. So we'll go ahead and just lay that one face down so it'll be in order. The next one is going to be your blow dry and thermal curling service. That's on the right side, third from the bottom. All right, and I'm going to place that one over there. It's not going to be in order, but I'm just going to put it back a little bit. Okay, next we're going to get our gallon bag. This one is going to be your tip application with acrylic overlay. So find your tip application with acrylic overlay label. It is on the left-hand side, not quite to the middle, a little bit above the middle. I'm just going to place it here in the left-hand corner. You can put it in the center, wherever you want, just somewhere at the top where you can easily see it. I'm going to place this bag behind the pre-exam bag. All right, the next service that we have is the blood spill procedure. You're going to notice in your kit that you have 2 blood spill kits. One of them is going to have a small packet of antibiotic. I'll show you what it looks like. just a little kind of generic packet. It says triple antibiotic. That one is going to be for the actual incident that you'll be doing as a service. The other one is just in case you cut yourself during the exam. Both of these have another small Ziploc bag inside of them. They need to be labeled hazardous waste. So if you notice on your labels, on the right hand side at the bottom, you'll have 2 hazardous waste stickers. So go ahead and take each of those extra bags out and label them hazardous waste. Remember, when anything blood related, you have to double bag them. So I just took one, labeled it hazardous waste. I'm going to stick it back inside the blood spill kit and do the same thing with the other one. Okay. Now we have to label the outside of the blood spill kits. So the one without the antibiotic, it's going to be labeled just blood exposure kit. It's on the left hand side, just down a little ways. Exposure kit. You'll just go ahead and set that one aside. It's actually going to go in your pre-exam bag. That's the one that you're going to use just in case you cut yourself. Just set it aside. Got to mix up. Okay. The other one is going to be labeled blood exposure incident. This is the one that you're going to use for the actual incident that comes right after the tip application with acrylic overlay. Just make sure that all the contents are in there. There should be an extra Ziploc bag labeled hazardous waste, a pair of gloves, a Band-Aid, a cotton little strip or a cotton round, and the antibiotic. So make sure all the contents are on there. They're also listed on your packing list. That's going to be for the incident. So your bag's going to be a little smaller. Just remember, it goes right after the tip application with the acrylic overlay. So go ahead and place it behind that bag. Alright. The next bag you're going to label is the eyelash strip. So it could be a gallon bag. You'll find the label. It's eyelash strip application service on the left hand side, a little past the middle. Just go ahead, place the label on that bag, and then place it face down after the blood exposure. Alright, and then the next one is the facial service. It's going to be another gallon bag. It's facial treatment service on the left hand side near the bottom. Once you get it labeled, just put it face down. Then grab another gallon bag. It's going to be your waxing service. It's right about the middle on the left hand side. The next one is your hair cutting bag, another gallon. It's going to be a hair cutting service on the middle, on the right hand side, right about here. Then, permanent waving service, once again a gallon bag. So on the right hand side, just 2 below that empty space, right about the middle. Okay, and then it's your blow dry thermal curling service bag, which we already labeled. It's that big 2.5 gallon. It needed to be bigger to fit that blow dryer and curling iron. So place it behind. And then last but not least, it's going to be your chemical service bag. And it's about the middle on the right hand side, just above that empty space. Alright, now once all the bags are labeled, we're going to go ahead and label our K-cups. The first one that I see here is it's for our chemical service. It's going to require 2 labels. One is the Mop Relaxer label. So just take that and place it on. Put it on the side so that whenever you take the lid off, it's still going to appear to be labeled. If you put it up here and take the lid off, it doesn't look like you labeled it. And then you're also going to place the Mach High Lift label on there as well. It's on the left-hand side. So you're going to put both labels on your Mach product. Let me just straighten it up a little bit. On any of these jars and my K-cups, I'm going to place a piece of tape over the top just in case it gets wet or something like that. It's not going to fall off or smudge. So I've got some Scotch tape here. I'm just going to place a couple of strips over the top of my labels just to kind of protect them. I'll probably do the same thing on my bags too. Okay, you should have, you look at your K-cups, some of them I put a little letter under, some of them I didn't. You start to look at them, you'll notice there's 3 that just have a tiny bit of some kind of oil. All 3 of them are the same. I either use beautifying oil or baby oil, but they are going to be your cuticle oil, your eye makeup remover, and your wax remover. So one will be cuticle oil, one will be makeup remover, one will be wax remover. We'll go ahead and label those. Please note, I only put a tiny bit of product inside these K-cups. For one, I don't want you to use very much because the mannequin's face does not absorb anything, and the more you put on, the harder and the more messy it's going to be to take off. Cuticle oil, it's on the right hand side, just above the middle line. Again, place them on the actual cup. So when you remove the lid, it doesn't appear to not be labeled. Also taking some tape and placing over, just because these oils sometimes can leak and make your labels come off. All right, the next one, it's going to be eye makeup remover. It's on the right hand side, not too far from the top. A few down, 5 or 6 down. And again, I'm placing some tape over the top. And the last little oily one, it's going to be wax remover, which is on the right hand side, second from the top. you'll find a K-cup that's got a small C on the bottom. That one is going to be your cleanser. It's on the left-hand side near the bottom. So just placing that on, and then the tape over. If you want more product in your K-cup, you are more than welcome to add more. You can use anything you have at home. It's going on a mannequin, so it doesn't really matter. The next one, it's going to have a tiny little M. It's got like white cream. That one is your moisturizer. It's on the left-hand side near the middle, just below all the empty spaces. Adding the tape. And then we have a P. It's powder. It's just baby powder, so you can use any kind of powder. It's on the right-hand side near the top. And then you'll find one that's kind of got like some green stuff. It's just aloe vera gel. It'll say CG on the bottom for a cooling gel. That's going to be for one of your waxing procedure steps. And the cooling gel's on the right-hand side, just above simulated wax. Okay, whoa, got it. This one is PC, it's protective cream. It's just cholesterol. It's on the right-hand side near the top. That's just off balance because everything's on the side. Every time I pick it up, it wants to fly. Okay, and then last but not least, it's got a W with a line under it. This is your simulated wax, and all it is Vaseline. Simulated wax is on the right side, above the middle line. Okay, now that we have all of our K-cups labeled, you'll want to find this little bottle. It's your mock waving solution. You also want to make sure that it has a hole in the middle. Some of them come without a hole in the middle, and that would be a disaster. I have a T-pin here, just in case. We'll also need to poke a hole in our nail glue. Oh yeah, this one does not have a hole. So I'm just going to stick that T-pin. You can also use a tack or something like that. I wouldn't suggest cutting the tip of the bottle off because it may make the hole too big and then the water is going to come out too fast. But just kind of take that tack and push it around so the hole is going to be big enough that water does come out. Ugh, a little hair. Okay. This one's going to be labeled Mock Waving Lotion. Again, label it on the side and place some tape over just in case the bottle leaks so it won't, your label won't come off. And then you'll want to find your little spray bottle. It's going to be toner. And you're just going to put some water in this one. Oh, I thought I was missing my EPA. This one is your EPA. It has a little bit of the EPA. All you need to do is add water, fill it up. That is plenty for this size bottle. So fill it up with water. You may want to do that before you label it so you can wipe it dry. And then it's going to be barbicide EPA on the left-hand side, 3 down from the top. If you aren't filling with water now, your toner or your barbicide, write it on your packing sheet next to the pre-exam setup and disinfection. That's what bag it's going to go in, just to remind yourself that that needs to be done. All right. Also, you'll need a hand gel sanitizer. There's a few things extra that you're going to need to pull from your kit that's not included in your state board kit. It came in your school kit when you started school. I've highlighted those things. It's going to be your water bottle. I have this one. It's going to be different than yours, but you'll need your water bottle or a water bottle. You're also going to need to label it water. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So once you've labeled off the manufacturer's label and you had to peel it off, same thing with your acrylic powder and your odorless monomer. So just make sure you don't cover up the manufacturer's label if you decide to use the label that I provided, but it's not necessary if it already has a manufacturer's label on it. I'm just going to be a little extra and go ahead and put mine up here above the manufacturer's label. So you'll find hand gel sanitizer on the left hand side at the top. I'm just going to stick it at the top where there's no manufacturer's label. Okay. The next thing you're going to need is your nail brush. That's the one thing I forgot to bring home to pack. So mock nail brush, I'm going to use this little toothbrush that the dentist gave me. That's just used to dust off after you've filed or buffed on your nail. But it's going to be a vanilla little brush that came inside your nail kit when you first started school. Then you're going to need your tip cutters, which is going to be your toenail clippers, also in your nail kit. You'll also need your small scissors that came in your nail kit. And you're going to need a pair of tweezers. Where did I put those? I have them here somewhere. So your tweezers, oh, here they are. And extra combs. I just have a bunch of these like that you had in your school kit. They came in a little white box, a whole bunch of them. I would just use those. And then you'll need a razor. I'm going to use this one. Your shears. I'm using a pair of mannequin shears. They're not my best ones, but we are going to have to throw them in the trash. Your big black trash bag that you'll later go through after your test, but don't use your best shears. You're going to need a rat tail comb. You'll need some plastic ones and metal for the highlights. You're going to need your blow dryer and curling iron. It doesn't have to be a Marcel. I'm going to use this one. It just has to be a curling iron. It can't be a curling stick or wand or a flat iron. It needs to be either this push button curling iron or your Marcel. I have my blow dryer laying on the table. It's just a little hard to reach. And I also included an extra color brush. You'll have 3 in your kit, but I just put one more in case I drop one. And some extra clips and extra combs. Some other things that we're going to need to label are your trash bags. So you'll have your small trash bag that you're going to use at your nail station, and your big black trash bag that everything that you packed will eventually go in. And these need to be labeled. You're going to want to label it. I would kind of pick somewhere near this red tab and on the outside, and be sure when you lay it out that the rater is going to be able to see it. I would also put the label on the outside when you pack it into your bag. So I have trash label, which is on the left side at the top, and also I have one labeled small trash bag. That's going to go for your manicure. So I'm just going to put it here on the outside, and I'm just going to remember whenever I lay it out that it's going to show, so the rater walks by, they'll be able to see it. Your small trash bag, the same thing. See where the end is and where the top is, and label it here at the top. And that one's going to be small trash bag. I'm just going to fold it so whenever I stick it into the bag, that label is going to be on the outside. Alright, what else do we have here? I think the nail kit. So we're going to open the nail kit. You're not going to need everything in the nail kit, so you do want to take everything out. You'll have this small bottle, non-acid primer. That'll be your nail dehydrator. You can go ahead and take it out of this little plastic bag. Some of my students kept this plastic bag and put their nails in it so they didn't get lost. That's totally fine if that's what you want to do. Guess I'll stick mine in there. My extra nails. And then find your nail dehydrator label. I would just put it on the back side, not over the top of the manufacturer's label. It's not necessary if it has a manufacturer's label, but I put one anyway. Just did not put it on the front, I put it on the back. You're going to have a liquid, odorless acrylic liquid, and 2 powders. You don't need both of them. One could be used to practice. One is clear, which will say at the bottom, and one is white. It also says it at the bottom. I'm going to use the white because you can see it a little bit easier, and make sure that you're covering the nail and everything, where the clear kind of blends in and it's hard to see it. So, polymer powder, the label on the right side near the bottom will be for the white powder. Again, I'm going to stick it on the back side at the bottom. I don't want to cover the portion that says odorless. if it's too long to go across, you can just tear off that extra so it doesn't cover up, you know, that it says odorless, because they're very strict on that. So I just put it here on the back where the manufacturer's label is not covered. And then I tore off any extra that might be coming towards the front. Odorless monomer, it's going to go in this bottle. Same thing. I'm going to put it on the back side, making sure that I'm not covering up the manufacturer's label in the front. This one has plenty of room to stretch, and I didn't have to tear anything off, and I still can clearly see the manufacturer's label in the front. Okay, you'll see some gold stickers here. You won't need those. So you can put that and your clear powder back in your nail kit and put that away. All of your little bitty items I stuck inside your head covering like this. So you may want to go through there. Being really careful because your extra nails and your eyelashes, all of those little items are inside there. So go ahead and you'll see your cotton, gloves, perm rods. Just go ahead and lay all those out. You can put all your orange wood sticks together. You're going to need them for certain different things, as well as your popsicle sticks, your buffer. I'm just going to kind of group everything together, all the sticks, the alcohol wipes. There was supposed to be an alcohol wipe in your blood spill kits, and both of them. I think I failed to mention that earlier, but I believe it is listed on your packing list. But I just happened to rewatch that part and noticed I forgot to say the alcohol wipe. You have your headband. It looks kind of like a little garter belt. Extra nails. Perm papers. Wax strips. Cotton rounds or cotton squares. Your eyelash glue, eyelashes, your nail adhesive, make sure that you poke a hole in your nail adhesive. You don't want to get there and then you can't get the nail glue out. That can also be used to poke a hole, you know, with your T-pin or a tack. And your mascara wand. So just lay all those items out, and then as we start to go through the bags, we'll put them in there. I'm going to go ahead and label my nail adhesive. It's on the right hand side near the bottom. It does say nail glue on the nail glue, so I'm just going to put it above that so it still shows. Like I said, it's probably not necessary for me to label it, but I just had some extra labels, and I'm always extra in something. Okay, well now we're ready to just go bag to bag. Oh wait, I am missing massage cream. And that's probably the K-cup over here that I put back. Okay. Well, I used to use the Aveda hand cream for massage cream, but I discovered the foot cream is not quite as thick and it's a little smoother, so I didn't recognize it. I thought I had 2 moisturizers. So massage cream is also kind of white, and this one didn't have a label. Yours may say MC or it may not, but it's also like a white cream. It looks similar to the moisturizer. That's where I got confused. So I went ahead and labeled that, and I'm going to put a piece of tape over the top. Okay, so we're ready to go. We'll start with bag 1. If you just take your bags and flip them over, if you lay them all face down, they'll still be in order. The first thing that's going to go in there is your EPA or barbicide. Remember, it does need to be filled with water. And your water bottle. It's a good idea to maybe have some extra Ziploc bags. Where did I put them? Here they are. Anything that's got water or that may leak, you want to maybe put them in an extra Ziploc bag. Especially because your paper towels are going to go in there and you don't want it to leak and get your paper towels all wet. The paper towels are going to definitely be a saving grace during your exam. So I just put my water bottle and my EPA in a separate Ziploc bag and then put it into my pre-exam bag. So let's check those off. We got EPA and water bottle. Next, hand gel sanitizer. I'm going to also put that in my plastic bag. You never know if you have this in your trunk or something and it's really hot. Don't leave it in your trunk. Next is your big black trash bag. Make sure the label's on the outside where the label on the bag is showing. So when you pull it out, they're going to see that it's labeled. The next thing you're going to put in is your just blood spill kit without the antibiotic. This one is just in case you cut yourself during the exam. You cut yourself during the exam, you're not going to run around and ask for a Band-Aid. You're going to use your blood spill kit that you provided yourself. Right? Then your roll of paper towels. That's one of the main reasons we have such a big bag for the pre-exam, so that your paper towels are going to fit easily in there. All right, so that completes bag 1. I'm leaving a little space so that there's not a lot of air in my bag, or press it all out, so that way it'll fit in your suitcase or whatever you pack in. The next bag is going to be your tip application with acrylic overlay. Somehow one bag got out of order. Okay, so the first thing that's going to go in, which you can also use a smaller Ziploc to put all of these liquids in, your acrylic powder or polymer powder. The white is what I'm going to use. Your nail adhesive. off as you go. Your primer or nail dehydrator. Your odorless monomer. And your cuticle oil. So look through your K-cups and find your cuticle oil. I'm also going to place that in there. Alright, once you've got all of those, it's going to go into your tip application with acrylic overlay bag. And then you're going to find your dapping dish. Oops, I forgot to take mine out of the plastic. Oh, still have my scissors. Remember, when you go over to the manicure station and set up, you're going to pour the liquid and the powder in here before you get started as part of the setup. You're going to need an antiseptic wipe. That's the very first step of the tip with acrylic overlay. You're going to need your small trash bag. Make sure that the label shows through the front of the bag. Your nail brush. That's the one item I did not bring, but I'm going to simulate it with this little toothbrush. That's going to come from your kit. Your fox finger prepped with the fingernail, trimmed down and filed to simulate the natural nail. You don't want to keep it really long because you're going to have to be placing a tip on top of it, and then you're going to have to put acrylic on however long it is. So the shorter the better, less work. Working smarter, not harder. Your acrylic nail brush that came inside your odorless nail kit. Your nail tips. I placed mine in that small bag that the dehydrator came in, just so that I wouldn't get lost. I could find them easily. You'll need at least one orange wood stick. I'm going to put 2. Only thing you need it for is to push the cuticles back. Your tip cutter or trusty toenail clippers. Place those in there. Block buffer. Your nail file. And I just put a couple of cotton squares or cotton rounds. That's just to apply your cuticle oil. That's going to complete bag 2, the tip application with acrylic overlay. Letting all the air out and then placing it into my little suitcase. So we've already gone over the blood exposure incident. It should be good to go. Like I said, it does have an extra Ziploc bag labeled hazardous waste, an alcohol wipe, pair of gloves, a cotton round, and a Band-Aid. At least one orange wood stick. I'm going to put 2 just in case. You're just going to apply the glue to the orange wood stick and then the orange wood stick onto this last strip. Your small scissors. Your tweezers. mascara wand. Here it is. Alright, that completes bag 4. Next bag is your facial service bag. Remember, once you drape for the eyelash strip, that drape is going to stay on as long as it remains clean for the facial and the wax. However, if it gets soiled or stuff on it, you'll need to change the towel out. So for the facial service, what we did, you know, you're responsible to memorize all the steps. You cannot number anything. However, I found a little cheat. You could pack your K-cups in order in your bag, and then as you unpack to start the service, you could place them in order on your station. That was a little cheat that I came up with. So, the very first step of the facial is the eye makeup remover. So I want to find your eye makeup remover and your K-cups. You've got eye makeup remover, and then you have cleanser, and moisturizer, massage cream, there it is, and your toner. Alright, so the first step is the eye makeup remover, so I'm going to put that one on the top. We'll go like bottom to top, so that way the top one's the first step, and so on and so forth. So it'll go eye makeup remover, cleanser, massage cream, toner, and moisturizer. So I'm going to put the massage cream on the bottom, then cleanser, then makeup remover. So step 1's on the top. And that's how I'm going to place it into my small Ziploc bag. I'll show you in just 1 second, and then I'll do moisturizer at the bottom on the other side and toner on top. They may move around. Let me see. I think what you could do is put your cotton, well, it worked better the other day when we were packing. Okay. Not cooperating today. Well, so it goes makeup remover, cleanser, massage cream, toner, then moisturizer. I was trying to get this toner to sit on top of the moisturizer, but it doesn't want to. Just remember, moisturizer is the last step. When you're taking it out to set up, just be cautious. Take the first one, put it in step 1, and lay them out in that order. So you don't have to think about it so much. It's just ready to go. So those K-cups will go into your facial bag. You're going to need at least 8 cotton rounds. I'd probably just put 10 to be on the safe side. And then you're going to need 1, 2, 3, at least 3 spatulas. I'd put 4 just to be on the safe side as well. Alright, and that will complete your facial bag. Again, just let all the air out. Next is the waxing service. We can also place these K-cups in a smaller Ziploc bag in order. Okay, so for this one, you're going to need your wax remover, your cooling gel, your simulated wax, and the powder, and an alcohol wipe. So the first thing you're going to do is clean the area, then it would be powder, then wax, then wax remover, then cooling gel. So I'll go alcohol wipe, powder, simulated wax, wax remover, and cooling gel. You're also going to need a pair of gloves for this one. If you want to stick your gloves in here, it might help sturdy your K-cups so they don't get all mixed up. Just stick them up off to the side. Hold them in a little tighter. Or use a smaller bag than I did. That kind of helps fill that space on the side to keep them from going to the side. There. So it just kind of filled that space a little bit. You're going to need, let's go ahead and put these in the bag. You're going to need 3 cotton rounds. Your wax strips, and at least 2 spatulas. And that's going to complete your waxing service. If you feel like you may make a mess on your facial, if you use too much product, you might can stick a towel either in your facial bag or your waxing bag in order to switch those out. Whichever one you want to put it in, just make sure you include a clip so you can use a new clip to clip your towel on. The next bag is your your hair cutting service bag. I'm going to put 2 neck strips in there. You just need 1, but just an extra in case of whatever, who knows. Your cape is going to be already on your station. After your waxing service, you're going to take it off and fold it up and put it on your station to be reused. Unless you have extra capes, you could pack one in your hair cutting bag and one in your perm bag as well. Go ahead and do this hair cutting service bag. You're going to need 2 neck strips. You just need one, but one's just extra. And your cape will already be folded up on your station after the waxing service. If you have extra capes at home, you're more than welcome to put one in the eyelash strip service bag, one in the hair cutting bag, and then one in the permanent wave bag. If you want to reuse them, just shake it off, fold it up, put it on your station, and then reuse it when you need to drape. And then you're going to need 2 to 4 clips. It's preference, however many clips that you feel like you need for a haircut. I like to just use 2, so I'm going to put 2. I like these crocodile clips. I'm going to use those. You're going to need, I would say, 2 to 3 combs. If you're one that drops combs, I'd probably put at least 3. Remember, when you finish with the haircut and you raise your hand, leave 1 comb out for the raider to use to check your haircut. Don't throw them all away and then you panic and feel like you need to dig one out of the trash. Leave 1 out for the raider. I'm going to put 2 of these small combs and then just 1 a little bigger that I like to use. And I'm going to put my razor that I'm going to use and these mannequin shears. And a towel and a clip. After I finish the scalp analysis, I'm going to need to spray the hair down. Even though I did pre-wet her, I won't have to spray as much, but I will need to re-spray it some. So I put a towel in there to clip around her neck whenever I distribute the water through her hair. When I'm finished, I can take that towel and kind of towel dry it and maybe use it for any water I might have spilt on the floor. You'll just clean it up, put it in the trash, and sanitize your hands anytime you touch the trash. And that completes the hair cutting bag. The next bag is your permanent waving service bag. So that one you'll re-drape again, either reusing your cape or if you have extra, you can pack another one in there. You're going to need 2 towels for the draping. Just folding those up to stick in the bag. You're going to need your mock waving solution. Remember to put water in it and also make sure there's a hole poked into your bottle. You're going to need a butterfly clip to clip your towel. And you'll need it. I'm going to use these 2 crocodile clips just to clip that, it's like a mohawk section straight down the back side of the crown, just to clip the rest of the hair out of the way. You're going to need your perm rods, at least 6. I would keep them buckled up like this when you put them in. If they're not, they can get stuck and wound together, and when you pull one out, one might fly across the room. And you don't want that to happen, because then you'll have to sanitize it, and they're just going to be watching you hard, see what you do. You're going to need your end papers. Your gloves, pair of gloves, and a rat tail comb. I'm going to use these plastic rat tail. I'm going to use 2 of those, just in case I drop one. Alright, complete bag 8. Next is the blow dry and thermal curling service. You're going to need your blow dryer. Fit this baby in there. That probably has this giant bag, so hopefully everything fits nicely. And your curling iron. A neck strip. I'm going to put 2. Two clips. Your round brush. And an extra towel to wrap around your curling iron in case it's still hot, so it doesn't burn a hole in your black trash bag. Alright, last but not least is your chemical application service bag. You're going to need 1 towel, four color brushes, the 3 that's provided in your state board kit and 1 from your school kit as an extra. At least 1 pair of gloves. I'd probably put 2. You just need 1, but if you want to switch it out after the relaxer or something happens and one of your fingers pops out, you have an extra backup. You're going to need 5 clips at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to need to put the hair into 4 quadrants, plus clipping the towel if you need to switch it out. I'd use a rat tail comb and your metal rat tail comb, a regular rat tail comb, and a cutting comb. I would use the cutting comb for sectioning into 4 quadrants, the metal rat tail for your highlights, and I like to use just the back of my color brushes to section the relaxers, but I just put an extra rat tail in there just in case. If you think you may use it and you don't want to throw it away, you can always just stick it into the clip of the quadrant that you're not going to be using in the back. You're going to need your, I'm going to get an extra plastic bag, but you're going to need your mock relaxer and mock high lift product and your protective cream. I'm going to place those in the separate Ziploc just in case they decide to leak or something. And you can just need 1 spatula, but I'm going to put 2. That's just to use your barrier cream. Oh, and you're also going to need 3 folded paper towels. I'm going to have to go back to my pre-exam bag and tear off 3 paper towels. Remember, the last step of each quadrant, the highlights, the virgin relaxer, and the relaxer retouch, the last step of each of those quadrants is to clean up. Even if there's nothing to clean up, you just need to pretend. And like I said, probably during class, you could just go through and wipe the barrier cream off because they would have already checked that you put it on. It gives you something to wipe off, just so you don't feel like you're pretending too much. But they want to see you doing that because that is part of the steps. And I feel like if you have 3 folded paper towels in that bag, it's going to jog your memory to be sure and clean up after each quadrant. So there we have it, 3 folded paper towels. And last but not least, your foil. I'm going to put them on the outside so they don't get bent. All right. So, just a couple of more things. You'll notice on your labels that there's an antiseptic wipe label. It's not necessary, nor the antibiotic. I would just not even use those since they already do have a manufacturer's label. But you do have one that says pre-sanitized kit. You're going to put that on whatever container that you use to come to the test with, like that all your bags are packed in. It needs to be a duffel bag, something that zips up, small suitcase. One of my students that just got back from testing yesterday said that she saw a guy use a duffel bag, and so at some locations they'll let you take all your bags out and put them inside your station. So you can do that if you want. She said she saw a guy do that, and then he put his black trash bag inside the duffel bag, and then that was his trash. So he didn't have, the suitcase and the trash. It was just one. So I thought that was kind of a smart idea. I have this little suitcase here. It's sort of a zip duffel. I don't know. I've just been putting them in there as I go, but it unzips from the top, so I think I could put my black trash bag inside of it and use it that way, and then just place all my bags inside the station. but there's been several locations that I've heard that people are allowed to put all their bags inside their station. So if that's an option, I would do it. Just make sure you put them in order and that you close the door and nothing's, it's not left open, and there's nothing sticking out, that your bags are all securely in there. When you get them, you shut the door back. If you decide not to put them in the bag, inside the station, then just make sure that you're zipping your kit back up each time. So don't forget, that label goes on your kit. In my next video, I'm going to do a whole full run through of the test. So I'll show you my kit, how it's packed, and with a label on the outside. And I may actually take them out and put them inside my station, just to show you how that would be. Alright, thanks for watching. Good luck on your test, and I hope I answered all your questions. Thanks. Have a great day.